Hello and welcome to this very special episode of the Spoilercast. As you know, we have a Patreon page where we release exclusive episodes of the podcast every week, sort of as companion pieces to our free episodes, which you can listen here to on YouTube and Spotify and everything. Last week we did the Planet of the Apes discussion, which was a part 1. And the companion piece of that was, of course, part 2, where we talked about more of the original movies. And it felt like it was kind of crappy to, put part 2 behind a paywall, because if you want to, continue listening to the entire thing, you would then have to pay for it. So we are deciding to release it as a free episode. This is something we do maybe once or twice a year. We put out a Patreon exclusive episode as a free episode, just to, show you people what you're missing out on. So if you enjoyed this part 2 of our Planet of the Apes discussion, don't worry, part 3 will be free. It's next week's free episode. But you should check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene, where we have literally hundreds of hours of exclusive episodes, commentary tracks, even some videos. And for only $3 a month, you can get access to all of it. So support us over on Patreon if you want to. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next free episode. But I hope you enjoy this little sneak peek at the Patreon exclusive episode. Enjoy. Hello! And welcome back to the Spoilercast, the show where we talk about movies and we don't care about spoiling them. And welcome to this Patreon exclusive episode, which is a companion piece to our last episode, our last free episode, where we talked about the Planet of the Apes prequel trilogy, kind of in preparation or whatever for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which is coming out next year for Memorial Day, whenever that is. I don't know.
Summer, I
think so, yeah. We were a neutral country during World War II, so we don't really have anything to memorialize.
Yeah,
we were cowards. And said, whatever. We won't hurt you if you don't hurt us.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anywho.
I was also thinking, Rebecca.
Yes.
And Patreon audiences, that maybe this could... or at least part of it could be a patron sneak peek for the free listeners, since otherwise anyone who's not a patron will not be able to hear this. What we think of the rest of the Planet of the Apes franchise.
Oh, you mean so we'll upload this for free eventually, or maybe this weekend or something? I don't know.
I don't know.
We don't have anything for this weekend, do we?
Yeah, Napoleon.
Oh, right. We have to go to the movies?
Yes.
Shit.
Yeah, I know. It was so nice to not have to do it for a while, actually.
A little bit, yes. Well, whatever. We'll look at that when we're done with the episode to plan the movie visit, I suppose.
Right. So, today... we're talking about Planet of the Apes. We've talked about the 3 new ones. Now I want to talk about the first 3 of the old ones, because there's too many to talk about in one episode. I mean, last episode we talked about 3 movies, took us 2 hours. This I don't think will take as long time. Mostly because I yammered on about them so much already. I know. Excuse me. But yeah. We're just going to talk about the first 3 ones, and then I guess that's also the thing. Like, then we're going to end it with a third part where we talk about the last 2 ones, and I guess that's going to be a free episode then? At some point?
Well, I don't know. I don't know yet. I mean, it depends on what we have to post everywhere else, basically.
I suppose. Alright. But let's start at the beginning, then. Again. Sort of. Let's start with 1968's Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
I was going to say written and directed by, but I actually don't know. I mean, I know, but I've forgotten.
Franklin J. Schaffner? Schaefer?
Yeah. Right.
That's the director, at least. Writers is a bunch of people, actually. Screenplay by Michael Wilson and Rod Serling.
Right, and Pierre Boulle wrote the book Le Planète des Singes.
And John T. Kelly added additional dialogue. Poor bastard.
That means, yeah, uncredited. Yeah, it's one of the like seminal sci-fi classics, I would say, at least.
Yes.
From a year I realized 1968 had a lot of great releases. But we're not going to talk about that. But no, Planet of the Apes. Classic. I've been a fan for many, many years, like we talked about in the last one. I've even read the book. Almost
you have?
10 years ago at this point. Yeah. I actually bought it at Waterstones.
Oh.
When I was visiting you in England.
Oh my god, yeah, that's 10 years ago.
Yeah, 2015.
Jesus Christ.
9 years this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, time flies, Rebecca. How does it feel to be almost 30?
Shut up!
Anyway.
Well, you should know you're over 30, so...
I know. I'm turning 34 in less than a month.
Oh my god, you're almost 40.
I'm almost halfway to 70, Rebecca.
Okay, never mind. That's not what we're talking about either. We're talking about Planet of the Apes.
We're talking about time, so...
Sure, that's true. I had to rewatch these movies, to be honest. Because I haven't watched them in ages, as I think I mentioned in the free episode.
Yeah. Me either. I probably haven't watched any of them since like 2018, 2019.
But rewatching them, I do like, okay, I remember this. Oh, I remember this. Oh, I remember this. And
yeah.
A lot of parts I went, oh, that makes sense. And oh, that's why they put that stuff in the new ones.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of... For such like heavy, very serious and well-made movies, there's a surprising amount of silly fan service in the new movies.
Yes, but I also think a lot of it's not just silly. It's like, oh, but we're reinterpreting interpreting the things from the original.
Oh, sure, yes,
and just modernizing it a little bit, making it make more sense with the storyline we are telling, sort of. Even though the storylines are very much similar.
Yeah,
in certain the themes and all that.
Oh yeah,
they're just like like I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, but in Beneath the Planet of the Apes, the weird melted off faces human cult people are and the gorilla commander, both of them inspired obviously
the
Colonel dude,
whatever his name was. Yeah,
I even forgot the actor's name. I know who it is, but
Woody Harrelson. That's right.
Like, he's a combination of those two elements.
Yeah, and of course, he calls himself the beginning and the end. There's a holy war. He even has the Alpha and Omega symbols on him or on his flag. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, he is a combination of that threat, just making it one thing instead.
Yeah, it's kind of nice that they actually paid some homage to even the Beneath the Planet of the Apes, which is kind of the black sheep of the franchise.
Yeah,
we'll get to that. Though.
We'll get to that. Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about the original.
The original, yes.
So, what did you think of Planet of the Apes?
I think I still think the same thing as I thought when I first saw it. That it's a very interesting concept. Obviously, I was a little bit like, I was younger when I saw it the first time, and I was still annoyed with the fact that it's made in the 60s, so it looks like crap for some reason. Or some reasons, you know. Not all of it.
It won an Academy Award for its costume and makeup effects.
Obviously, at the time, it looked kind of awesome. But seeing it in the 21st century, or whatever we're in now, in the 2000s, it looks, I mean, you can see the human mouths move within the monkey or the ape masks. It's kind of annoying. Right. Still, though, kudos, because it looks good. But, I mean, if it was done today and it looked like that, that would have flopped majorly.
Well, yeah, of course.
And it's still a bit of a sore eye because I'm so used to today's technology and even, like, the early 2000s technology of movies. So that's always been a little bit of a But the story is very interesting. I still like the themes and all that stuff that we've talked about, that we mentioned in the previous episode, and I remember being entertained by it. But and I'm still entertained by it. But it's so like it looks so weird with the fucking masks.
I don't know. I think
there's a certain charm to it, but it's still just it's so jarring at points.
That's what I would say. There is a charm to it because obvious flaws in the makeup. But once again, 1968, and
kind of forgive it.
Yeah, didn't have the biggest budget.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And I just think you forget that they are masks after a while, though. For me, at least, I think because of the excellent writing and acting from the people in the suits, Roddy McDowall and
Kim Hunter.
Kim Hunter, first and foremost.
That's true. That's true. They become the characters very much. You don't really think of them as humans in masks when it's especially those two.
Yeah, because that's the one we see the most of.
Dr. Zayas as well, a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But the rest of the apes, whatever, they're just apes. They're kind of just background people. I don't really think about them.
No,
it's a little bit jarring though. Characters. Comparing them to Charlton Heston and Linda Harrison, specifically the humans.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, I feel like they're overacting to like compensate for the lack of makeup or something. I don't know. Especially, it's more in the second movie, but Charlton Heston feels a little bit. I don't know if he's trying too hard or something.
No, you know what it you know what it is? It's Charlton Heston.
Oh, maybe it's just his style.
It's his style. What was her name? Linda Harrison.
Linda Harrison.
Yeah, she was like an up and coming star, or this was supposed to be your star maker or something, which didn't really happen. If I'm not wrong, because
she didn't have a speaking role. That's not how it works.
Yeah. But Charlton Heston that's just the way he acts.
Yeah, I guess.
And his character is supposed to be kind of smarmy, I think.
True. I mean, he's this cool astronaut dude, of course.
Yeah, exactly. He's an astronaut. He's an asshole. Admittedly so, he says, like, he's kind of, he talks about all the women he has been with. And lots of lovemaking, but no love. And he's kind of supposed to both represent, like, not the best of humanity, but like
modern day humanity,
the resolve and the pragmatism of mankind, but also sort of represent what's bad about mankind a little bit. So we can,
to explain why the apes are.
Yeah, both that and kind of to show why humanity went the way they went.
Yeah.
And why he left. I mean, he says he left because, like, everything sucks over there now. It's bad.
Sure.
So, I think that's part of the character for him to kind of act that way.
Sure. No, yeah, of course. But it's just, I don't like it.
Linda Harrison is Nova. Yeah, she doesn't have anything to do. She's
a pretty...
She's just there because she's pretty.
Yeah.
It's a bad role. I mean, she's literally his arm candy.
Yeah. I mean, his entire reasoning for bringing her along is like, well, I want a pretty woman.
Yeah, like, I mean, he literally says that in the beginning of the second one. Like, maybe we'll start a colony. But
I mean, they had a female astronaut with them, and she died. It's like, that's a shame, and now we can't repopulate. Like, yeah. First of all, you did it wrong then. It should be one man and several women if you want to repopulate something. You can't have one woman and several men. Doesn't also, really work.
You need more than 4 people.
That too.
I think.
But I mean, it's a better chance if you have more women than men, at least, because women can only be pregnant, one at a time, kind of thing.
Basically, once a year.
Basically. So it's not very efficient if you just have one woman. But I don't know.
Yeah. That's kind of. If we're going to get in a little bit to the story, I don't think we're going to do like we did with the last time, where we're just going to go beat for beat through the story, because they're kind of similar.
Yes, and also this is from the 60s. If you haven't seen it yet, the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was just Googling. Oh, here it is. Let's see if I was right. Minimum viable population. How many people you actually need to
Oh, it's around the thousands or something, right?
I want to say it's like 1,200 people or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I remember as well.
Estimation. There's no unique definition of what constitutes a sufficient population for the continuation of a species. But, this is for species. I want humans. What's the minimum number of people to survive an apocalypse? Well, let me see. It takes too long. Just say a number or whatever. I'd say it's around 1,200. Because I remember in the movie, what's that called? The Dead Space movie, Pandemonium or something. Whatever.
Which one?
The one where the spaceship is going to New Earth because Earth is overpopulated and becoming toxic, and then they wake up.
Passengers?
No. There was a movie before that. That's the horror movie version of Passengers, where a lot of people woke up and they've become mutants.
Oh, wait, I know which one you mean. I don't remember.
Pandorum.
Yeah.
Something like that. Anyway, in the end, when they actually get to the planet, it says like Earth 2 or whatever it's called. And it says population 1202. So it's like, oh, there's 2 people more than enough. Jesus Christ, that's close. Stuff like that. Something like that. Anyway.
Someone, I'm just reading random something from, I think it's partially from a passenger here. But they mention apparently like you need about, what the fuck do you know? I scrolled past it. You need about 89 people. But that was the ship, sorry. No, never mind, they're talking about the ship all the time. I thought they were talking about the Earth.
Durf. Yeah, let's move on.
A minimum of 50 was necessary to combat inbreeding, and a minimum of 500 individuals was needed to reduce genetic drift. That's the, like, who? What's the name?
What?
I lost the name of the person who wrote this.
Should be at the top.
They kind of fucked up. It's the 5,500 rule. It's an analysis on like, minimum viable population.
Yeah.
So you need about 50 people to combat inbreeding and a minimum of 500 to, like, reduce genetic drift. So yeah, I'd say about 1,000 people or something. That's probably because I've heard that number too somewhere. Yes. I don't know why we're talking about that.
We're talking about it because the original mission of Taylor and his crew was to go to a new planet, to find a new planet to populate. However, they had no plan of how to get back.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like, they were, well, I guess the idea was to contact Earth. But you can't just, they've traveled so far, how are they going to contact Earth? Like, that message would take hundreds of years to get back.
Yeah.
Even if they could send it back.
And also, I mean, okay, sure, they weren't supposed to crash, I assume.
No.
Which they do, for some reason. Unknown reason, I guess.
Well, obviously, something goes wrong in space, because they're not supposed to go back to Earth in the future.
That too.
They're supposed to go somewhere else.
Yeah, they're supposed to go to another planet. Which they believe they do eventually at the start, right? They're like, this is weird. It looks like a habitable planet. Or they read the atmosphere and like, yeah, we can breathe here. Good. Yeah. Let's go out and check the atmosphere of the dirt and shit like that.
Yeah.
They kind of haphazardly just assume that everything's going to be fine if they walk out. They just check the atmosphere. How do you know the lake's not toxic?
Yeah, I guess that's the kind of thing you have to assume they tested the water as well.
Yeah, maybe it's included in the atmosphere or something.
Yeah, when they jump into the water, and it's like, oh no, what are you doing? What if there's toxins in there? Yeah, I know. I
mean, sure, the water was already flooding in, so they had to get out, but like...
No, I was thinking of the water they go swimming in later.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, they had no option in the other one. It was just, I mean, either we get drenched in the ship, or we get drenched in the lake, so...
Yeah. And one of them's actually gonna drown us eventually. The other one might not.
Exactly.
So sure,
yeah. So it would be interesting to know what the actual plan was, because they only had, I guess they had more food on the ship, because they get out of the ship, they have food and water for 3 days,
Yeah.
That's it. It's like, Jesus Christ.
That was all they were able to grab, I guess, as the ship was sinking.
Yeah.
But if you read the book, do you remember if there were any more details in the book?
I haven't... no, I don't remember.
You don't remember, no.
No.
Oh, that's fine.
The only thing I remember is that the book takes place further into the future, and that the ape society is more like a futuristic, like, megalopolis. It's like a big, giant city with, they have, like, flying cars, and instead of having crossings, övergångsställen.
Crosswalks.
Crosswalks, right. They have monkey bar crosswalks, because, apes.
Sure.
Climb. So it's like
a
regular city, but it's adjusted for apes, which I thought was funny. Other than that, it's pretty similar. It takes place over a longer period of time.
Yeah,
There's a lot of time spent when Taylor is in the cages, because it's a book, so there's a lot more talking.
Yeah.
Basically, that part is dragged out. But other than that, it's pretty similar. It ends differently.
Okay.
I mean, they find out that they are on Earth, but it turns out that the book is sort of like a message in a bottle sent out into space. Oh no! Wait, am I saying it wrong? Hold on. Is it actually not Earth? Book ending. I have to check now because there's a detail. Just tell me.
Oh yeah, I remember that cover.
Oh my God. I can't. Can't someone else just tell me?
A novel ends with the return to the framing device in which the astronauts are revealed to be a pair of chimpanzees who refuse to believe that humans were ever intelligent.
Yeah. But is it
That
actually
proved-
Earth?
Well. Oh, Jesus Christ, I don't care. Oh my God, so much text.
Just want to warn everyone who's listening. I'm not going to edit this.
No.
Jesus Christ, you're going to have to listen to all the dead air. I'm sorry. Earth, century, Earth, humans. Ulysses programs the ship back to Earth.
No, he eventually escapes and returns to Earth, so it can't be Earth. It has to be the titular planet. Yeah, it's on the titular planet, the planet of the apes, so it doesn't seem to be Earth.
That's what now makes sense, though, because that's the end they go for in the reboot, or the remake, from 2001, that he goes back, but then apes are the dominant species on Earth anyway. And the same thing here.
Well, yeah.
Ulysses programs the ship back to Earth. As they fly over Paris, Orly Airport, and the Eiffel Tower looks the same. When they land, however, they are greeted by a field officer in a jeep who is a gorilla. This causes them to return to outer space. What? They land they name
the novel ends with a double twist. A framing device depicts a pair of astronauts who find a message in a bottle relating to the events of the story, in which a human space traveler finds himself trapped on the titular planet, where simians rule and humans are brute animals. He eventually escapes and returns to Earth, only to find that apes rule here too. The novel ends with the return to the framing device in which the astronauts are revealed to be a pair of chimpanzees who refuse to believe that humans were ever intelligent.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing I like, because it turns out that even further into the future, chimps, like space chimps, find this message.
Yeah.
So, but how are apes now on Earth as well? I mean,
maybe
apes.
we can assume that the planet he ended up on, the planet of the apes, they sent their astronauts and they found Earth and they took over the planet. I don't know, but that's assumption.
Fuck. Now I'm gonna have to read the book again.
I was about to say, can I borrow the book? But yeah, you read it first then. Or maybe I'll buy it. No, actually, I'm on a book buying ban. I'm not allowed to buy any more books at the moment. Yeah, we might have to try and read the book before we finish this little series.
Maybe.
Maybe I'll see if I can find it digitally or something.
Digitally. Yeah, okay, sorry. Back to the story.
Yes.
This is all
I don't even know where we were.
No, we were in the beginning, like, what was their plan? And I want to talk, like, what the difference between the book and the book and the movie. So they discover a topsy-turvy world where humans are basically like animals, and chimps rule the world. Like we talked about. And it's, just like the first one, it's really a movie about, I would say first and foremost, like racism / slavery.
Yes.
Which, thinking of it in today's terms, it is kind of typical white people have to to understand slavery. They have to make the white people. And they have to make a science fiction movie where white people are slaves to apes. If people go like, oh, I get it now. Slavery bad.
Yeah, white Americans specifically. Like, oh, what if I were a slave? That's terrifying. Yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
But at the same time, I mean, it was the 60s. So yeah. They weren't even that far removed from actual slavery.
No.
So like 100 years. So I understand it. And also, like, if you're gonna do, like we talked about, like, it's perfect sci-fi fodder. If you're gonna hold up a mirror to reality, you have to make it like different enough to, like, so it's not just like it's a movie about racism, because then it's too much finger wagging,
Yeah.
It's easier to distance yourself from it to understand something.
Yeah.
That's why people say, like, I can't figure this out. Just take a step back, calm down, and you might figure it out.
Maybe even, like, look at it from another angle, or
exactly.
Ask someone else to look at it and see if they see it in a different way.
That's what sci-fi does so well.
Yes.
And that's what fuck it. That's what modern Star Trek doesn't understand. The second season of Picard takes place in 2023.
Oh no!
And it's all about the racist immigration policy and in America and global warming. It's just like, but why isn't this a sci-fi show?
That's just reality.
Yeah.
That has nothing with science fiction to do, really. It's reality.
So it's so
not,
dumb.
Fiction is a very prominent word in sci-fi.
Yes, exactly. It's half of it. And like we said, that is to be able to distance yourself from it. And instead of, like, feeling like, oh, they're making fun of my beliefs, if you're making, like, a left wing and people from the right wing are looking at it, it's easier if it's, like, not directly targeting people.
Yeah.
It's easier for people who are being targeted to maybe like, oh, okay.
See the similarities, maybe understand.
Yeah, and then they're like, so what I'm doing is wrong. I should change my, like, it's easier to reach people by, going around, not just going, you are bad, do this.
It's also more fun.
It's also
general.
A lot more fun because you have to have apes riding horses.
Example, you can go to more extremes.
Yes,
make it look more interesting. Like, for one thing, I really love about this movie is they make it easy to understand who is part of what, despite them being different types of apes.
Yeah,
you also have color coding.
Yes,
the peaceful chimpanzees are all in green, and they're all basically scientists.
Yeah,
of sorts, or doctors.
They are. Yeah, they're STEM, so to speak.
Yes, exactly. You have the orange orangutans, I think, who are dressed in orange, who are the religious people.
Yeah.
Mainly. And then you have the gorillas, who are in purple, I think.
Purple and
black. Who are the
militaristic
army people. Military,
ones,
yeah. It's like, yes, okay. And then humans are, humans.
Humans are humans, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, okay, yeah, I can understand. I don't have to know what kind of ape you are. I just have to look at your colors.
Yeah.
Good. Easy, simple, clear. Like it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. I think it is kind of funny, though, that they kind of, like, like put the different races in different like
yes,
positions. Which is,
that's where the racism is kind of weird.
Especially in later movies when Sarah keeps talking, I hate gorillas. They're so dumb and they just want war. It's like, oof, yeah, who are you talking about here?
Exactly.
That's kind of racist, you know. So, but even though they're all apes.
But I mean, that's the thing though. We're all humans, but there's a lot of humans who are racist just because you happen to have a different color.
Yeah, but the problem is that Sarah is racist towards gorillas. But that's for later movies.
Yes.
For now, yeah, they all work in harmony. They're just divided up like that. Yeah, because it's easier for us to kind of tell apes apart. Yeah. Probably because of the makeup and stuff. Because a lot of the chimpanzees just look like Cornelius. The only reason
all the male
Cornelius,
ones look like Cornelius. The only reason I know it's him is because there's a little bit of a like he has. I think the mask is a little bit better, so he can move his eyebrows and shit.
Yeah.
Same with Zira, but you also tell that that's a woman because she doesn't have the full beard.
No, yeah, exactly.
And she's the only female chimpanzee we kind of see.
Yeah,
like fully.
There is one when Taylor escapes, which that is literally just a Zira mask, but I'm guessing another actress in there, or maybe it is even
basically
Kim Hunter, I don't know. When the little kid chimp goes like, "Oh, a man or human," when they're in the room with the religious scholar thing,
praising ape Jesus.
Yeah,
whatever his name is,
or whatever he's called. Yeah. What is his name? They have a name for him.
Yeah, I don't remember the first. Yeah, I think they say the first one or something. Just.
He's fuck. No, whatever. Screw it.
The first ape.
No, yeah, he's called something, but whatever.
That's the thing, though. They use a lot of the names that we recognize from then, of course. Recognize, I guess, is a dumb word because it's the opposite. But they use a lot of the names in the new trilogy.
Yes.
So Cornelius is obviously Cornelius, the kid. Zira, I don't remember if they ever reused Zira.
Cornelius? Who's Cornelius?
Caesar's son, the second son. He's Cornelius.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah.
But there's no. This is also I'm jumping ahead a little bit. There's no Milo, right?
No Milo.
I was thinking that maybe that should have been a connection, but no, it's not. But they also mention I think they mention a Caesar at some point in the Planet of the Apes, the original. It's not like a main character. I just kept making I've heard, that's the name. I just kept remembering the names, but I didn't take any notes because I don't know, I didn't feel like it.
Caesar is not mentioned. In the third movie, they mention that the first ape who spoke was called Aldo, I think.
Right, something like that. Yes.
I watched it today. I've already forgotten.
Yeah.
I was looking. Oh. Huh. Wait. No, I was just looking. It was weird because I remembered. I remembered that in Conquest, which we haven't gotten to Conquest yet, the fourth movie, but that the ape in that movie, who actually starts the ape revolution, which leads into what creates this circle, he is called Caesar. But Caesar is Baby Milo from the third movie. Oh, right. They rename him. I think that is so that people won't know that he is Milo, even though nobody except for Cornelius, Sierra, Armando.
Armando, that's the one I was thinking of.
And maybe the two animal psychologists, they might know he's called Baby Milo. But why change his name? I don't know.
Also, it's more Pondus.
Yeah,
I guess
Caesar.
Having a leader called Milo kind of feels
weak. Milo, leader of the resistance, or Caesar, leader
is
of
more
the
powerful.
resistance.
That's the word I was looking for. Powerful.
But back to the first movie again.
Yes.
Yeah. It, like we said, it does what Rise of the Planet of the Apes does so well. Not really a story about revolution, but it's a,
No.
it's a story. It's a story of it's really a criticism against humanity. First of all,
against society.
Yeah, how we treat people, but also it's on a wider scale of just how, like, in general, like, the human race is bad. I mean, we find out that it's so bad that we literally scorched the earth.
Yeah.
And they say that in the second movie, that they set fire to the atmosphere, which, if you remember from Oppenheimer, was one of the fears of using nuclear weapons, that they might set fire to the atmosphere and ruin planet Earth.
Exactly.
And that must, I mean, and the whole movie is about how apes loathe humans, first because they think they're filthy animals, and and through the viewpoint of Tater, we're like, but no, humans are good. Like, yeah, we have our flaws, but we're just like you apes back on our planet.
Yeah.
We're really trying to sell this. But the apes don't want to hear it, especially the religious leaders, the orangutans. They just don't want to hear it. And Dr. Sayers being the leading voice in that. And then finally, like, they're gonna prove that yes, apes and humans we're the same. We're actually the same. And we get to that end where they get to the excavation that Cornelius was working on some years earlier, and we see, like, there's human remains that are older than 2,000 years, which is
why would they make dolls that talk if humans could never speak?
Yeah, and that is buried. It's been around since earlier than apes.
Yeah.
Turns out that Sayers knew of this, and he knows that humans were actually once upon a time, intelligent.
Yeah.
But he also knows that they ruined their society. They had a complete breakdown because they were so bad that they ruined everything. That's why apes had a chance to flourish, and he does not want that to happen again.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a mixed message there because he's a religious leader. Obviously, there's a lot of, like, religious dogma, like no, there is no recorded history before 2,000 years, which is also very much the Jesus thing. With the first ape, and like, they're apes are made in the image of God. Men are beasts,
Yeah.
Just to kind of poke fun at religion. It's also funny that their religious leader is also the minister of science.
Yes.
Which I think, but that's also that I think that is kind of clever, because they of course they are a peace-loving society. They're one society. From what we know, there is like one ape society. There aren't many countries. They never mention any other ape society somewhere else.
And I mean the maps they have are very local. Like they don't really care about what's outside. It's just them.
Yeah, it almost feels like an idealized, like, communist society.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Where they all, like, they don't seem to have any currency. They have, like, communal land where they grow food, the corn fields in the beginning of the movie. And they talk about how the humans, they come into our green belts and ruin our lands because they eat all the food and stuff.
Yeah.
And you see people, like, just picking fruits from fruit stalls in the city, and then focus is on education.
Yeah. The scientific side.
Yeah, the scientific side, but the religious leaders kind of keeping it in check with religion to make sure, like, as long as we follow the tenets of the first one,
First ape.
God damn it, whatever he's called. He's on the DVD menu or the Blu-ray menus are all like that ape talking about the scrolls. So I should know the name because but I don't. Whatever. So that's kind of how, like, so religion is what's keeping society together, while they allow for science to kind of further their society. So they're walking a tight rope there, which is interesting. Eventually it will blow up in their face, it feels like, which it does here, but that's because we have a time-traveling human who shows up. And I think it's a very interesting and pretty, for like a 2-hour movie, that kind of only just borrowed the idea of, apes are humans and humans are animals from the book. Because the book is a lot more thought out, of course, because it's a book. It's all text. Yeah. I think it's a very clever setup, clever world building without world building at all getting in the way of the story, in the movie. Do you agree?
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find the fucking first ape man name, but I can't. It's just trying to tell me which the first movie is. It's just like, no, that's not what I mean. It was very annoying.
Right.
I'm getting annoyed here. I know, I shouldn't care, but Jesus Christ. Because we just keep calling him the first ape. Who is he?
What, so, have you been listening at all? Because
yes,
I'm waiting for you to respond.
Sorry. Go. I'm lost now. What did you say?
I'm sorry, folks. This is like the worst episode we've ever recorded.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're very passionate about Planet of the Apes. I'm not.
You're
so
not?
That's
okay. Well, I'm okay. Can we go back to then? What did you actually think of the movie?
No, I still like it, but I'm not passionate about it the way you are.
You didn't really give me it. You're just the masks were bad. Okay, you don't like it.
No, I like it. It's
what
a
is
fine
it you
movie,
don't
but
like about it?
I don't know. I'm not as fascinated by it as you are.
All right. Well,
they're cool. That's about it. No. Sorry, I just got stuck on the fact that we kept calling him the first ape, and there is a name, and it's annoying that I don't remember it.
All right, you know what we'll do? We'll do a Menace Chain Secret podcast here. We'll press pause, and we'll figure it out. 3, 2, 1, pause. We're back. Sorry about that. We're gonna try and focus now. We found it. The first ape.
Was it the lawgiver?
Yes, he's called the lawgiver. He's the one who wrote down the sacred scrolls that has all the tenets that ape society live after. I actually found we just had to focus and actually look at the nerdy version of Wikipedia, which is the Planet of the Apes wiki fandom. It says in Planet of the Apes and beneath the Planet of the Apes, the lawgiver's writings and quotes form the basis of the ape's systems of laws and customs, particularly with regard to humans, because he had seen what humans did, of course. So
and he declared them the devil's spawn.
Yeah, their entire religion, once again, interesting that their entire religion is based around humans suck, get away from them.
Yeah,
because they have more or less flourished for 2,000 years because of using these rules. So in a way, religious zealotry and hating another species worked out.
Yeah, I guess they're more of they learned from the humans' mistakes, I suppose.
Of course. But they don't want to say that because they don't want to they don't even want to acknowledge that humans were once intelligent, because then they won't be able to separate them and just call them animals. They would have to start oh no, wait, we come from them. Oh no.
Also, I guess they kind of have to distance themselves to fully start anew and not get too inspired by the human developments and technologies, because then they'll just repeat the same mistakes eventually.
Yeah. Anyway,
so that part is fascinating, to be honest.
Yes, I mean, and that's what I mean. The whole world, the world building of Planet of the Apes is very fascinating.
Yeah. And
we can say also that it holds up very well, because even though a lot of the details are retconned, even in the older movies, it is held up now for 8 movies.
Oh yeah.
So it is very, very well written. But and that's what we found. And going back to them, because we're kind of on the human side in the first movie. Like,
Sure,
yeah,
because
humans
they're the
humans are
imprisoned
bad,
ones.
but like we're not animals. You can't treat us like this.
Yeah.
And just transpose that onto a black person and just that's a social commentary, the biggest social commentary. But then we get to the end, and they let Taylor and Nova run away, and the younger Sarah's cousin, whatever his name is, talks to Zaius over by the stuff. Why must science come to a standstill? Like, this is inexcusable. I love that line. Dr. Zaius, this is inexcusable. And he says, what's he going to find out there, Taylor, when he rides away? And he says, his destiny. It's so good.
Augustus?
Augustus, yeah, I think so,
Yeah.
And they ride on, and they eventually come upon this huge statue, which looks very similar to the Statue of Liberty.
He's in New York.
Yeah, they realize they were on Earth, and he says it, "You maniacs! Ah, you bastards, you finally did it!" And we realize, humanity wiped itself out through nuclear war.
Though I'm not sure if I understood, the first time I saw it at least, that I was like, oh, it must have been nuclear war. I just thought like, oh, so humanity died out?
Well, I mean, the book came out in 1963 when we had the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Oh yeah, that's true.
The movie, started working on right after that. I mean, it was during the height of the Cold War.
Sure.
Which is the closest we ever got to nuclear war. So it's an assumption, but it's a pretty strong assumption, especially when we get to the second movie.
Sure. When I got to the second movie, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Then we realized that, okay, so some of the hatred for humans, it kind of makes sense, even though, it could be toned down, and there could, of course, be a way for, apes and humans to live together. Unfortunately, humans are basically animals. I mean, I was gonna say, like, since they are considered animals, it's not much different from us, like, chasing away deer or shooting off, fucking feral hogs to make sure they don't kill our cattle or stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just it's a horror scenario because it's humans, and we know humans are humans, but in their world, humans aren't humans anymore. They are animals. I mean, they don't even have speech centers in their brain anymore. They figure out.
Yeah. It's been suppressed though, because it does turn out that they do still have the ability to speak, but they don't have the reason, I guess, so they just stopped talking. Because Nova eventually, in the second one, she does force out a word. She goes, Taylor, eventually.
Taylor! Yeah. But that's just to show
so
that, you can still train them to speak if you wanted to.
Yeah, I guess.
I suppose. That's one of the things. I mean, that's a cool scene, but it doesn't really make sense because they're not supposed to be able to speak. So,
one
of many problems with the second movie.
It could also be just that the way the chimpanzees figured out, they can't speak anymore. They just didn't find everything. They don't know everything, obviously. So maybe instead of saying that, they don't have that thing, it's just a suppression.
Yeah.
Humanity has suppressed they didn't need to speak anymore, so they just stopped and then,
and lost the ability. It's still there, but they just don't.
Exactly. Since the newborns never hear anyone speak, why would they learn how to speak?
Yeah, it's like when we talk about like children, who are like locked up their entire life. There's this, I don't remember the name of her, but there's a classic case of a girl who was born in captivity and kept in like a basement or if it was an attic until she was like 12. She couldn't speak.
No, because she's never heard.
She couldn't even make noises.
Yeah, because if you don't know, that children learn by mimic.
Yeah.
And if they never hear anyone, that's why you always, like, when you coo to a child, you say real words, because eventually they'll pick up how the sounds work.
Yeah.
And then they start talking.
Oh, which is so cool.
They don't just go, ooh, 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 because then all they say is, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah. That's so cool. About a month ago, I visited my friend who has he's like 8-month-old son right now, who, when I was there the last time before that, he wouldn't speak at all, barely made any noise other than crying, of course. And then I met him now, he was almost doing the mama, papa word. It was so cool.
When you actually see that development, you're like, shit.
Yeah. Anyway.
Humanity's kind of cool that way.
Yeah. we are little miracles.
Yeah, we are, I guess. In a sense,
anyway,
then, in the Planet of the Apes version, apes are miracles because they've learned how to speak. They've developed speech and technology and, well, not a lot of technology. No. That's the weird thing, though, because they have guns.
Yeah.
But they don't have, like, they don't even seem to have, like, radios or telephone or light bulbs. I mean, we don't really get to see what the light source is. Sure, but, like, we don't even see them, like, lighting oil lamps to have light. It's just all lit up from the sun, I guess.
I'm guessing they have wax candles because they don't know about oil. We find that out in Escape from the Planet of the Apes. I think they, like, once again, they're more of an idealized society, which is also kind of funny because people always say, like, oh, people who say, like, go back to a tradition, like, they would never work today. So, but, no, it wouldn't be able to go back. But if a society actually, like, in a way stopped progressing in certain ways, it would actually be better.
Yeah. In certain areas, yes.
Like if you ever want to, criticize capitalism, like, capitalism has given us a lot, but it has also given us like an abundance, a lot
of negative stuff.
Yeah, it's given an abundance to the point where, like, we've overgrown.
Yeah.
This and the ape society, like we said, it's not capitalist, it's communist. It feels like, at least, some form of communism. So they don't have a lot of the technical progression that we have. But they've obviously, like I said, they're a very, like, peaceful society.
Yeah. It's like they don't have the need for certain technical developments.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you really think about it, why the fuck do we need half of the shit we have?
No, yeah, it's just comfort shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they say in Die Hard. My husband think technology peaked with the frozen pizza. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? But I think it's also a bit anachronistic because obviously anachronistic that it feels out of time, that it doesn't really fit.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Because they obviously couldn't build. They couldn't build the super futuristic cities from the book because they only had barely $2 million to work with, so it would be easier to make the apes more like sort of medieval, candlelit. They live in, like, stone houses. They don't have technology, so to speak. They don't have electricity and technology because it's then just easier. But we'll give them, like, we need guns for the gun scenes. And, of course, we need science and stuff for the science scenes.
That's the entire thing of the movie, or the book, basically.
Yeah, so they need to have, like, exploratory brain surgery and stuff like that. So they cheated a little bit with the technology and the evolution of society there.
But it also kind of works then, because, like I said, it's like they only developed what they actually needed.
Yeah.
Instead of, like, everything else. They don't need to have a microwave oven. Like, you don't need it. You can eat
also
fruit.
Because they just eat fruit, yeah.
Yeah.
Blessed are the vegetarians, like the other guy says in the beginning.
Yeah.
Which also, since, I mean, we could also live on a strictly vegetarian or vegan diet, but we don't want to. But that also, like, eliminates a lot of the, like if you're a society that is one, with little to no, like, fighting, and you only eat plants and fruits and berries and shit, plant stuff.
Yeah.
You don't need weapons.
No, I know. That's where it kind of fails, because, like, why would you develop guns specifically? I mean, knives and stuff is for, harvesting.
Yeah, that's...
I understand sharp
tools,
objects.
Yeah.
Yes. But I don't understand guns unless you're hunting.
And that is the thing. They do hunt humans.
Yeah.
That's the one thing they use guns for. They hunt humans.
But I never really fully understood why they started hunting the humans.
Because...
Is it mainly to deter them from their crops?
Yes, they're a pest. And also...
But they say that they use them, like...
The orangutans want to distance apes as much as possible from humans, to the point where like, oh no, get away! Humans are dangerous. If you see one, call for a gorilla and they'll shoot them.
Basically, they have the plague. Stay away from them. Kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Because they don't want.
That's true.
They don't want to even invite the remotest chance that a human who can speak shows up. Because
which I guess then is another connection or parallel to the modern trilogy or the newer trilogy, where they, instead of like they shun the people who can't talk because they're afraid of the virus they carry.
Yeah,
it's kind of that way, but they're not talking about a virus in this one. They could have, basically. See, connections. But I guess we did develop ranged weapons to keep predators away. So I guess that's also
exactly.
Yeah, that's the similarity, I guess.
We don't see
it's
a lot
just
of
a little bit of a. It's a little bit of a harsh juxtaposition, though, because the weapons are so far advanced compared to everything else.
Yeah, they have like, in the second movie they have fully automatic like assault rifles.
Yeah,
which is like,
if you compare it to the human society, so to speak, our society,
yeah.
It's like, oh, you developed AK-47s, but you don't have light bulbs.
yeah, I know.
You don't even have gas stoves.
Or
fireplaces.
That is where it fails a little bit, but I understand why.
Yeah, sure. It works. It works for the movie. It's a little bit silly looking at it today. It's a little bit silly, but if you just like distance yourself, it's fine. It works for the movie.
Like I said, for me, just like with the costumes, it's not silly though. I see why they have guns, and they need to use it. So
sure.
But I don't see the silly. But okay. However, I think we should move on to the second movie.
Yes.
We've kind of talked about already, because it covers basically the same themes.
Most of the movie is basically the same as well. You have a white man and his friends landing on this planet, which they think is another planet, but they realize that it's, oh my god, it's apes. They just kind of like rush through it a little bit.
Yeah, it came out
till he gets to the cage.
It came out the year after. They just wanted to cash in on the success
2 years,
of the first one. Oh, okay, 2 years. Sorry. They just wanted to cash in on the success of the first one. That's why they made, which I have never actually watched because it's kind of hard to find a good version of it. There is a TV show which came out around the same time.
Oh yeah.
Never watched that. The second one, like we said, it's, for me at least, the black sheep of the franchise.
It's very strange.
Yeah, it was cheaper. Half the movie is just repeating the first movie. Step by step.
Yeah.
You
land on the planet.
He discovers.
You wander a little bit.
He becomes captured. He meets Cornelius and Zero. He's like, "Oh, you can talk. We like you, but you have to hide because orangutans and gorillas hate talking humans." And then you discover remnants of a human society, realizing I'm on Earth. Then comes the interesting part.
Then they kind of develop a little bit. You have more of a development with the gorillas and the hatred for humans. And again, we have this more like them being very culty almost. And literally trampling peaceful chimpanzees who are just like, oh, stop the... Did they say stop the war? I'm not sure what war they're referring to.
The war between apes and whatever is out there. Because they know that something is happening, because they mentioned that scouting parties have been moving out into the Forbidden Zone and disappearing, which we see that's the way Taylor disappears, so to speak. I'm trying to get back.
So it's the war with the unknown, I suppose.
Yes.
And it's a waste of apes and resources in the scientists' eyes, of course, because we could just stay here and be happy.
Yeah. And I know, but I know that the orangutans, they kind of want it. They see it as a necessary evil, because if the gorillas want to kill off whatever intelligent humans are out there, fine, as long as we get don't have to deal with them anymore.
Get rid of the humans.
Yeah. Whoa, that's kind of interesting. I was just looking the budget. Wait, hold on. Am I wrong? Because I said that the budget for the second one was lower than the first one, but I don't think it is now. Hold on.
No, the whole underground scenes are kind of well developed.
It is. The first movie had $5.8 billion. Whoa. Oh, whoa.
Ooh.
$1 million. Okay, I said less than 2 million. That was wrong because I was looking at Conquest still. That one had less than $2 million. The first movie had $5.8 million budget, and it made $33 million.
Damn.
Yeah. Which, when you think
For
about
the
it,
60s?
it's not that much. I mean,
No, but it's still good.
Let's say they had $6 million. That's not even. That's like 5 times. Yeah, it is basically 5 times the budget.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the 60s.
Yeah, but to only make your money back well, I guess making it back 5 times is a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a lot.
That's more than a Marvel movie. Because
they
cost $300 million and they make $1 billion. That's 3 times the budget. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Sure. That's true.
That's pretty good. It's weird though, because I have to say, I think that Beneath the Planet of the Apes, the second part of it, when they're beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, when they're actually beneath, yeah.
It looks kind of like, it looks not much better, because the makeup is still terrible for the most part.
Yeah.
But it looks like they put some thought into the caves and all that stuff. There's actual design and there's a lot of it.
Sure.
I mean, that freaking what's it called again? The nuclear bomb?
Yeah, the doomsday bomb.
They obviously made it because they climb on it and tip it and shit. They made a big one at least. I mean, it's probably just very thin metal or even paper, but still.
We don't. But what I think they cut corners is you can see that a lot of the crowd apes, they basically are wearing masks. That's not makeup anymore. Yes. It looks awful.
No, it's just mask. Yeah.
I would say even the hero apes kind of look worse.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they reused.
I mean, Zera and Cornelius. No, they might have reused their original masks because they look a lot the same even in the third one.
Yeah. And then also, we don't see a lot of Ape City. It's mostly just apes walking through the desert, which is the classic, mini budget movie. We'll just shoot it in the forest. We'll shoot it in the desert. Classic.
We have 4 locations in Ape City. It's the Coliseum of sorts, or the
meeting place.
Amphitheater. Yeah. You have the town square where the protesters are.
And then Cornelius
and then inside their home
yeah.
and the cages.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing the cages, that set was probably not demolished because it looks pretty much the same.
Yeah, and I think some establishing shots are probably B-roll stuff from the first movie.
Yeah. And I mean the town square kind of thing is just probably just cardboard cutouts surrounding them.
Yeah. So they definitely
and a little bit of fancy sand on it.
They definitely focused the budget on the second half of the movie.
Yes.
Which I admit I like the look of it, and I like that. It's silly that you have mutant humans who have developed telepathy, or
yes,
telepathy.
Yeah.
Well, telekinesis, they can inflict pain on people by making.
Yeah, but it's illusions. Telepathy as well because they speak
illusions.
Only.
Right.
Yeah. And they speak only through their minds unless they have to use their voices, which is so primitive.
Yeah, they only do it for worship and when we absolutely need to.
Yes,
I love that detail. It is that is even more. It goes into hard sci-fi though when you come to that stuff. They are a religious cult who prays to an atom bomb and stuff like that, which has obviously been referenced in especially Fallout 3, where you have an entire city built around an atom bomb and people who pray to it and stuff. I like that. I don't think
I made that connection when I played that game, but as I'm rewatching the movie, I was like, oh, Fallout.
Yeah. Yeah, I played the game before I saw that movie, so that's why. Because I played the game in 2008. I didn't see this. I'd only seen the first movie. I didn't see any of the sequels until 2011, so I didn't even know about. I knew of them, but I hadn't seen any full movies before that.
Well, maybe I played Fallout before that too, then.
Yeah, so you didn't even know about this movie.
Pretty new. No, but rewatching, I'm like, Fallout.
Yeah, definitely.
Reminds me of that. Is that why their faces have melted off? Because they're too close to an atom bomb all the time?
They don't mention it, but that's how I interpret it.
Yeah.
Like they
It's
live.
not like they've like developed over time and they don't need their skin anymore. That doesn't make sense.
No, that doesn't make sense. Yeah.
It's more like it's
like
it's gradually burned off.
Yeah, they've. That's why they also have mutated because of radioactivity.
Radioactive, yeah.
I mean, it's like Spider-Man.
Though I'm not sure. I'm not sure why they decided to make the rubber masks then to look human again. And
no, that's one of those. Once again,
that's for us.
It's more for that,
basically,
because it's a cool thing in the script, and then they take their faces off. It's
also because then they didn't have to have that makeup on all the time.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit of a plot convenience.
Yeah,
but it's also a great
and
reveal.
It looks cool on film.
Great reveal when they pull off the mask. You're like, oh my god!
It's just for the audience.
yeah. So yeah, the second one. First of all, it's just a repeat.
Yes.
The same things. Well, and it doesn't work because at this point, when what is his name? Brent?
The new guy? Yeah, Brent.
Brent's not as strong as a name. It's not. Yes, like Caesar and Milo and Taylor and Brent. It's not as strong.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work. Like to have him discover Ape City and have all about, but humans are good. Humans are blah blah blah. No, we already know they're not because they blew up the world. We knew that from the second or from the first movie. It doesn't really work. Where it becomes interesting is the fact that now, in the wake of all that happened in the first movie, gorillas have kind of taken over a little bit of the power from the orangutans.
Yeah.
And want to fight. They want to wage war. And
yes.
What was going on in the early 70s? Well, we had the Vietnam War, a war where we fought basically an unknown enemy. We were just fighting communism. Who are we actually fighting? I don't know, communism.
Most of the Americans didn't actually know who the enemy was. It was communism. Yeah, they didn't have a face on it.
That's why we called him Charlie. We didn't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's not why. It's from Charlie Chan. Well, whatever.
Sure, but...
and also that's why we have the scene with the protesters who's protesting the war, because this was the first war where, it's probably always been war protests, but like where we had big protests against the war.
Yeah, it became a thing.
It's an unnecessary war. Why are we fighting this war,
Exactly.
And it's a war out of fear, not a war to defend ourselves. We're preemptively starting a war because we're afraid of what's out there, communism.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because we talked about, there's sort of a communist society,
especially in the first one. In the second one, we don't see as much of the society
of course.
to make that assumption again that there's still a communist society.
And I mean, the movie was never pro-communism. It's just that so it's fine that they're making a commentary about that, like fighting communism. I
just have to make that comment though. I've said it before and I'm saying it again. Communism is fucking awesome. If you look at parts of it.
Yes. It's
difficult
an idealized
to execute,
version,
though.
A perfect version of communism on paper, amazing.
Amazing. It's very difficult to execute. Though.
Yes, it has never been properly executed because, you know what?
Humanity.
Suck. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was always people we'll share everything, but I want just a little bit more.
Can I just have one extra?
Yeah, because
everyone needs one extra.
I started this, so couldn't I get like 10%? No, because then there's no longer communism. Yeah,
yes.
Then it becomes fascism. I'm sorry.
Yes, and capitalism eventually.
Well, yeah, no, that's a completely different thing. It works different. But anyway.
Yeah, but you develop whatever.
You do not develop capitalism from fascism. No, you don't.
I guess not.
No.
Either way,
completely separate. Anyway.
It's funny that then, because we have, like you said, it's this perfect society which is a bit communist in the first one, and then the second one they're like,
we need to wage war against an unknown enemy.
Yes,
an enemy who's never attacked us, but they're out there, so we better kill them.
I'm a little bit curious about the in between these two movies. Like, what happened?
Yeah, we're not even sure
to get where the gorillas want to attack this unknown enemy.
Yeah, because we're not even sure how long. I mean, it can't have been too long.
No, because Taylor is still alive.
Yeah, and I mean, he looks mean, he's only 2 years older because it took. I mean, they.
Sure, but they haven't like made him age or something
so
in the movie.
Probably only been like weeks, maybe.
Yeah, Nova looks exactly the same as well. The funny thing is though that Brent says that we were sent out to find Taylor.
Yeah.
So he's obviously been missing a long time in the real the real Earth, the original Earth.
Yeah.
Before they sent out a search party. However, he can't have been gone that long because he's like... I mean, technically though, Brent says that they look up to Taylor. Like he's this legend almost.
No, I think he was just like
he's a really cool guy though. But like, is he then like a class above him in like astronaut school, or was he?
No, I think he was just
a national hero.
He was just top of the class, you know.
Yeah, okay, so maybe then he can't have been that long.
No,
did they realize their mistake? Like, oh wait, we sent you out with not a way to get back, or like a proper way to repopulate whatever place you get to. Like, did they like? Why did they send out a second ship? It's like because they went missing, or like. I don't really understand that part.
No, they're waiting, but they were waiting for Taylor and his crew to send a message back to Earth. They never got that message. Maybe, let's say, a couple of months went by.
Oh yeah, I guess.
So
by their calculations in space time, they should have returned a message at least in a couple of months.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm trying to figure out here, because the first movie takes place in 3,978 in Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Do they say that?
That doesn't make any sense. That's just wrong then, because that he mentions that he is in the year 3,955, which means he would have arrived 13 years earlier. No, even more. 55, 75, 20.
Isn't that
23 years later?
Yeah, and that's
earlier.
I think that's the year they mention in the third one when Zera and Cornelius say that they've traveled back in time. Then they asked him what was the date dial set on
39. No, she says 3970 something.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's the thing. Everything is wrong about the second movie.
They fact checked a little bit wrong and
they
mixed up some numbers.
Which is why, I gotta say though, I enjoyed it much more than I did the first time I watched it. The first time, because I think I've only seen it like twice, maybe 3 times now. I did not enjoy it at all. I was like, this is just cheap.
That's kind of
James
weird.
Franciscus is a bad leading man. All he does is run away. Do you think of that? He never like fight. He always runs away. He's a fucking. I mean, I don't know,
and his entire reasoning to bring Nova with him is because she's, again, pretty.
Yeah.
Like, show me the way, you're pretty. Show me the way, you're pretty. That's all he says to her, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically Taylor's reason as well, to be fair, so.
Sure. Yeah, but he's more of a leading man, you know.
Yes.
And I think that's kind of a mirror.
There's this charm about him somehow.
Yeah. But it's also mirrored in the fact that I think James Franciscus never really had a great career. Once again, this was kind of.
I mean, that's not a name you recognize.
No, yeah. He didn't really go very far. He started. He made Jesus and.
Made a lot of stuff though.
29 movies. 29 movies.
Bunch of
in
TV
30 years.
stuff. Though.
Yeah, lots of TV stuff. He became a TV guy. He was never a movie star.
No. And he quit in the 80s, so he didn't go on for that long either.
No, like if you're a working actor, you want to retire as a regular person. You work for 30, 40 years and then you retire. That's what he did.
Yeah, but he worked for like 20 years.
We started in 57.
Okay, sorry, 30 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Because his last thing was like in 88 or something.
91. What? He made the 29th Street movie in 1991.
86 is the last one I can see.
In movies?
With 3 episodes of the Veliki Transport. That was in 86.
Okay, the last thing I saw is Secret Weapons, which is a television movie from 1985. I'm looking at Wikipedia.
Oh, I'm looking at IMDb.
Okay. Anyway,
Anywho.
Yeah, he's not as strong as the leading man. It's
No.
half of the movie is a repeat. The second half is interesting but silly.
Yeah,
and
I mean, it's not like him and Nova are like the main characters by then. We don't care about them anymore. I was just curious about the fucking mutants.
yeah, and then they bring back Taylor, and immediately Brent is like the second.
Oh yeah, he's the beta.
yeah, the second character, a B-doll, whatever it's called, supporting role.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about the mutants because they are interesting. It's also like cool. That's a very, very cool sci-fi concept. Kind of reminds me of the pilot of Star Trek, where you also have like super evolved humans who don't have to speak. They use like their mind to talk and create illusions and stuff. The man trap. They're a peace-loving society. Once again, just like the apes, they just want to like be left alone and live. They'll live over there. We'll live over here. We don't have any beef. They just want to pray to their bomb.
Yeah.
Their doomsday weapon. But we
don't get to see enough of their society, though, to, like, fully understand them, because all we see is them worshipping, and then they go, we are gonna be attacked. Let's just nuke them.
We'll hide. That's what they said. We'll hide. And if we really have to, we'll blow them up. Yeah.
I'm curious, like, do they eat? Because we see no...
Yeah, that's also like
trace of that.
Obviously, like cost cutting. We only see their church. We see like a couple of hallways, a jail cell,
and one jail
That's
cell.
It. There's no like world building there like it was in the first movie with the Ape City. We don't see anything of the city there.
That's where they should have cut down on the repeat and went much faster to the mutants and then developed them instead of like having all these extra scenes in the Ape City.
Yeah, like but in the same time you have to introduce that's why the second movie just doesn't work, because you still have to introduce the fact that apes are the dominant species and humans are animals to Brent, so that he can be caught up to speed to where Taylor is before they meet the actual new interesting stuff in this movie, which is the mutants.
That's the thing, though. We get like a flashback scene almost of how Taylor gets kidnapped, I guess, by the mutants. What if we just like pick it up where him and Nova are riding in the desert and they discover all these weird phenomena, and then Taylor gets sucked into the void and he disappears, and then we cut to him being in the mutant city.
Yeah, it's Taylor's,
and that's where the movie starts.
Yeah,
we follow Taylor as he experiences this mutant society instead.
But then we can't have the monkeys, and that's what the people want. They want the monkeys
because it's the planet of the apes. You need the apes.
Yeah. No,
that would have been a much more interesting sequel, and it would have made more sense.
Yes,
if they focused on the mutant part.
I agree with you, and you could still have the apes. You could have all the scenes where the apes are like, "Well, we've heard rumors of great fires in the sky out in the Forbidden Zone, and scouting parties have disappeared. We're going out there. We're going to kill whatever's
I mean, they could
there.
still have the like, oh, we need to find this Taylor dude because he's gonna revolutionize the humans and he's gonna make them attack us. We need to stop him before he can build his own army or something.
Yeah. The second movie it kind of paints itself into a corner all the time.
Yeah.
Where you're like, well, we have to do this and I have to do this now, and then the apes come in here. Like, how are we going to end this? There's not going to be like a peace. Well, I guess we'll just blow up the Earth. And the movie ends with them blowing up the Earth. I mean, it ends with a voiceover that says like, well, this insignificant planet in this insignificant galaxy just became another, just exploded, and then everything was over.
Yeah.
Bye.
This one isn't technically based on a book. It's just a sequel. Like they just continued on whatever theme they had.
I don't think any of the other. There's only one Planet of the Apes book.
Yeah. And they just kept going with it.
Yeah.
Kind of. It does work better when you get to the third one, though.
Definitely. But I just want to expand a little bit on the worship of the bomb. Once again, it adds into the whole Cold War, nuclear war scare that like people are literally like praying to an atom bomb. It's seen as the ultimate weapon, which it is. I mean, it is.
Yes.
It's the ultimate deterrence. Like, you better stop fucking with us, or we'll launch a nuke.
Still works.
Yeah, I mean, it still works.
Today.
That's why we have what is it called? It's called deterrence. Everyone has equal power, so we know if we fuck with them, they're gonna fuck back with us. Or mutually assured destruction, like, which is gonna happen if everyone fires at the same time. Then we are gonna blow up the Earth, basically.
Basically, yes.
So it's still an interesting concept that the humans that are left, they're a peace-loving society, but they do worship an atom bomb, and that ultimately Taylor does, in the end, he does the same thing he criticizes humanity for in the first movie. He blows it all up in the end, because at that point he realizes that even in this sort of better version of the world, war still happens. We're still waging war. Not even these idealized apes can refrain from waging war. So, fuck it. And he just boop.
But that's the thing, though. When they get into that cave where the atom bomb is, the goal of him and Brent is not to set it off at first, right?
No, it is to stop the mutants from using the bomb.
Exactly, and the apes from, like, tearing it down, because they know that, if you fuck with that, it might go off.
Yeah.
But then when the apes manage to flip it over, it's like, shit, and then they all get shot at.
They
shit,
realize
we can't really do anything now.
No, but he just realized the apes are just as bad as humans are. They just come in here, like, guns blazing, shoot everyone. We see, like, Brent, of kind of representing humanity, are just getting gunned down. You see him getting shot in the head, and, they shoot him, and he's just like, fuck this, basically, and better
nuke it now and start over again than wait until we nuke everything else again.
Yeah. So it is a very, very ballsy ending. I've only seen...
Yes.
I mean, obviously there's movies where, like, oh my god, the world ended. But there's, like, post-apocalypse. Sure. But I think I've only seen 2 movies where the movie actually ends with the end of the world. And that's this and Terminator 3.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of cool, like, oh, shit, we don't save the world? Oh, whoa,
Yeah, because even in, like 2012, or 2012, or whatever that movie's called.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the end of the world, but...
Kind of, it is the end of the world. You still have so many humans who are alive and well and will be able to repopulate the Earth, and everything will be fine, because they've, like, saved technology and shit. It's like, and you didn't reset, though. You just took a few steps back.
Yeah, and I mean, in that movie, they even mentioned that, the water is receding faster than we anticipated, so... Yeah, it's a cop-out.
I never understood that one. Where the fuck did the water come from, and where the fuck did it go?
Wait, they explain it. I haven't seen it in so long.
I don't remember that.
I love
that movie.
Disaster movies are a guilty pleasure of mine, because they're almost always poorly written, but it's so cool when the giant tsunami comes.
That's one of those movies we have to, like, do a throwback episode on.
Sure. I'll gladly watch that movie. I love it. When they're running away from the giant pyroclastic cloud in a fucking airplane. Oh, it's so cool. Anyway. They're driving a limo through a collapsing skyscraper. Come on. Anyway,
Beneath the Planet of the Apes, yes, it ends on such a, like, definitive note as well.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, technically, you couldn't really do anything after this.
There's no planet left.
It's over. I do like it how they, not retcon it, kind of, but they, like, backtrack to go, like, wait.
They figure out a way.
There is something.
But that was...
There's one way we could continue the movie.
that was, I think, partly because... Charlton Heston said, like, I'll do it. He didn't want to do a sequel. When you listen to the behind the scenes stuff, everyone knows it's like, excuse me. Everyone nowadays, I think, mainly thinks of him as the gun guy, because from Bowling for Columbine, you see that one. They'll take my rifle from my cold dead hands scene.
Oh yeah,
which kind of paints him as like he wasn't a bad guy, but he was that as well. But if you look at the behind the scenes stuff of Planet of the Apes, he's kind of a nerd. He loves like sci-fi stuff. That's why he wanted to do Planet of the Apes.
It said somewhere in the trivia that like no, wait, that was for the Beneath the Planet. Someone took this way too seriously. I think it was James Francisco's, though. Sorry, I confused them.
Yeah, but I know. So he was still not interested in making a sequel because back then, you know, actors and stuff, they knew, hey, sequels, that's cheap. You're just trying to make a repeat. You want to make something new, don't you?
Yeah.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he said like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, I'll have like a supporting role. That's why he's only in like half the movie, barely. And he said like, but after this, I'm not doing anymore. So I want a definitive ending here. Because you're not gonna rope me into a third one. So instead of like just killing his characters because he'll keep on, they're like, how about we blow the planet up?
Yeah, we'll just delete everything.
Yeah. It's interesting. That's very interesting. But yeah, then the movie was still a success. Like we said, it had a budget of $2.5 million, so less than half of the last movie. Still made $19 million back, so that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, we can't stop now. How the hell do we write a third one? Well, we already have time travel. We have traveled forward in time. How about we just travel back in time?
Yeah.
When Earth is still a thing. And then we have, of course, Escape from Planet of the Apes, which is a great title.
Yes.
Where Cornelius, Sierra, and Dr. Milo, which we haven't seen before, I think he's only there to like explain the time travel stuff in the beginning. They and how the ship was salvaged from the lake because it was Milo who did it. They leave right as the war breaks out. They decide to get into the spaceship and try to I don't know, they go into space. They don't really say
they just
why.
want to get out of there.
They don't know
when the blast happens,
they see
they see it, and like they say like the what's it called?
The blast wave.
The blast wave. Jesus. Somehow alters their course, which is why they kind of travel back in time, I think.
I don't know science, but I'm guessing
doesn't seem like it works that way. But sure, why not?
you know what? I thought of as I was watching it today, and I was just thinking of how they explain tachyons in Watchmen. I don't know if
I do not remember that part.
This is way too long. But you know, what's his name? The big blue guy.
Yeah.
Whatever he's called. Dr. Manhattan. That's his name.
Manhattan, yeah.
Dr. Manhattan. He
I'd say Mr. Universe, but kind of.
He exists in like the fourth dimension. Like he experiences time as a constant. Like it's always the past, present, and future for him. He can see everything all the time. But there is a spot in the future which he cannot see, because there are tachyons firing from that point in time. So tachyons, I mean, this is not, I don't know if this is real science, it's Watchmen science.
Yeah, sure.
They are affecting time in that place in time. And we know from later in the movie that is a giant explosion that destroys New York City. Which is, of course, the bad guy, whatever his name is, the calculator man.
Whatever.
Smartest man alive. Ozymandias. He blows it up, in the shape of an alien from the comic book.
I was about to say, isn't that supposed to be like a giant octopus or something?
Yeah, in the comic book, it is supposed to be a giant alien that comes down to Earth and explodes. In the movie, it is supposed to be Dr. Manhattan who destroys New York. Yeah. Anyway, so a giant explosion, especially a nuclear explosion, releases tachyons. Tachyons affect time. So they get hit by this blast wave. So instead of moving further forward into time, like they should have, because they're traveling at the speed of light, they now travel backwards in time. That's my explanation for it.
I mean, if the ship somehow managed to travel forward in time when they left Earth the first time and ended up on the Planet of the Apes, why the fuck couldn't they go backwards?
Well, if you want to get into actual science there, traveling forward in time just has to do with speed and gravity.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Backwards is a lot more complicated, but in theory you can. But you can't just like go fast and you'll travel backwards.
No.
So that's why I'm thinking explosion, radiation, tachyons, whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
Also, Who gives a fuck?
Who gives a fuck? Yeah.
They end up back on Earth in like the
1972 or 3 or something. It's supposed to be.
Yeah, 70s at least.
Yeah. It's that I think they mentioned that it's supposed to be like 4 months after Taylor and Brent left. They say two ships. I'm guessing 4 months since Brent left, maybe 6 months since Taylor left, something like that.
Yeah,
which makes sense because it's supposed to take place slightly in the future from the first movie, which was made in 68. So yeah, early 70s.
Which is why they also assume that it's gonna be either Brent or Taylor coming out of that ship when they beach it.
Well, they see that the ship is Taylor's ship, I'm guessing from some sort of marking or number or something.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, he's back!
Yeah. But instead,
and then,
which is, what a fucking
apes.
opening. Once again, we gotta talk about how great all these movies just fit together, and how, like, both thematically, but also visually. Like, the first movie ends on a beach. The first movie starts on that beach, because it kind of picks up where the first movie ends. The third one then starts on a beach. You're like, oh, we're back. But the planet exploded. And then we hear a chopper. And you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And you see there's humans in it. And you're like, we're in our time. What the fuck? Oh, it's so good. And then we see the spaceship in the waters outside of the coast of California. Like, it's so, I just love that. And just such a little thing. Like, we'll start it on a beach. So it looks the same.
Especially since they're all like, every time it's the same kind of ship and they've all landed in water.
Yeah.
In the first 2 movies, you see humans exit one way or another.
Yeah. And here they climb out.
And here they climb out and
they're apes.
Apes.
You're like,
the
what?
hell?
Yes, it's so good. So now this is the closest we get to like bad science fiction, though. I gotta say though, before we go there, I love Escape from the Planet of the Apes. It isn't as good, well made as the first one.
No.
But the concept of intelligent apes in our world is amazing.
Yes.
Just see them, trying on suits. He smokes a cigar, which we already saw that. But I mean, now it's with humans and like hang out with humans, especially in the rockin' 70s, with all the colors and the music. And
the way it's fascinating to see how society. I mean, first of course the military gets scared, but as soon as like the rest of society gets a glimpse of them, they're like, oh, but this is such a novel thing.
Yeah,
this is
like,
fun. Instead of being scared of potentially, an ape uprising or just intelligent other beings, like most of the time in sci-fi movies, when we have an alternate species being as intelligent as us or as close to us, there's fear. Sure, we have fear as well in this one, but it's like one guy, technically, who's like, this is not good.
Yeah.
Everyone else just goes, meh, this is fun. Let's make a show out of it.
Yeah. Which is also...
Let's put them on radio and on TV and I mean, there's one that's really weird, how they separate Sarah and Cornelius, and they get very different experiences of the human world.
It's the 70s, so women go to a women's lib movement and guys go to watch a boxing match, that's what guys do.
Yeah. I love how they have the same issues as we do, though. Like, why, when you ask a man to make the bed, you end up making the bed or whatever she says. But yeah, same issues here. Guess that doesn't change no matter where society is.
I made, in my mind, a very funny joke about that line. But yeah, because she says women has heads as well as hands.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
sure.
Anyway, I'm not going to repeat it. It's not nice. Anyway,
I think I get where that.
yeah, you know what you can do with those hands and heads. Anyway, sorry.
Poor choice of words, Sarah.
And
you just said brains instead of heads.
Anyway, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, they're like a novelty almost, and celebrities come and hang out with them in their swanky hotel suite, and they kind of become they kind of become
this is gonna sound
human.
horrible, but you know what it reminds me of?
No?
I can't think of a specific movie. Well, actually, it's kind of like George of the Jungle. When they take this primitive creature into the city and they get to experience the culture and the sophistication of humans in the city. Not just George of the Jungle. I mean, there are other movies where, like, isn't it like a prince from Africa or something? With, what's his name?
Eddie Murphy?
Yeah, isn't
Going
that the
to
kind
America?
of the same thing?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
This is a little bit more extreme, obviously, but it kind of looks like that, which made me just think like this is racism in another way.
Well, yeah, that's what I want to get to a little bit, because this is once again, it is kind of a repeat of the first movie, but in reverse. Because here it is, speaking apes who come to humans, and humans are kind of scared of them, putting them in cages, and we treat apes as animals.
Yeah. Which, hey, Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Yes, yeah. It's not as extreme though. We don't. I mean, we do experiment on apes, but we're not like our religious leaders aren't scared of apes. That's another reversal here. The guy who's actually scared of the apes is not a religious leader in this one. He's a scientific leader. He's the scientific advisor to the president. That's also like a fun reversal there. That in the first movie, even though there was like a weird like amalgamation of science and religion, it was mainly the religious people who were like scared of humans. Here, it
was the religious aspect of it, so that feared the development.
Yeah, here it is the scientist who is scared of the apes and what they represent. Yeah. But yeah, so you have where this movie it deals a little bit maybe with racism, like but more in like I would say more in like more with like immigration, because here we have people who are brought in from another country and the refugees, and we kind of treat them as celebrities because they're emigrating from another time. So it's not just it's not just people from the Ukraine coming over to where
no, it's a little bit extreme.
Yeah. But it's kind of a novelty, like especially back then, because immigration wasn't as big as it is now.
Yeah.
So
and instead of wanting to learn of their culture, you just want to push our culture on
a little bit, yeah. And as soon as the novelty wears off, people start getting scared instead.
Yeah.
And so they go from being like on national TV to being hunted in a boat in a ship graveyard.
Yes.
Like Jesus Christ.
I mean, they do make one major mistake, which is tips the scale a lot.
Well, they were already
it's the accidental killing.
Yeah, well, they were already going to abort their baby and castrate them. So,
but it wasn't until the killing was made public that the rest of the society had like the same fears of them, because they didn't know about.
We don't really see the rest of society.
We don't get to see that. That's true.
Yeah, we really only see the.
But we don't get to see like people going, oh, where did not Milo? Where did the Cornelius and then Sarah? Where did they go?
No.
They kind of like it loses its novelty, I guess.
Yeah.
And people stop caring.
Once again, I would say that is because of diminishing budgets. Because now they have even less money than the last movie. The last movie had $2.5 million. This has $2 million to work with.
And they wasted it all on the first scenes of them like partying and trying on clothes.
Obviously, like, we don't have money to build any science fiction cities. We'll just shoot it in California. Whatever.
Yeah.
But hey, it works. Like I said, it's still a fun movie. I mean, Zera. Quickly want to get back to that also, like the which is something I wish they kind of expanded on. To see Cornelius and Zera kind of become like humans, kind of become as bad as humans are, and they realize like, oh no, and they see the bad part of humanity. Like maybe there was something to Dr. Sayers and his ideas about humanity, because we see Zera, even though it's very short and really only like 2 or 3 scenes. They hinted her like becoming addicted to alcohol, grape juice plus.
Oh yeah.
Because yes. Like, ooh, she wants grape juice plus, and like, oh, I have a headache, I'm sleepy. Like she's been drinking a lot. Or we see Cornelius sitting in his in his fancy bathrobe, watching TV, going like, haha, in his fancy hotel room. Which it reminds me so much of, I don't remember what's it called? It's a Seinfeld episode. I think it's called the beeper or the personal pager or whatever. Where Seinfeld's parents get to live for free in like the presidential suite in some hotel.
Yeah.
And they invite Uncle Leo and Grandma, whatever her name is, and they just, because everything is free, they just act like it's complete debauchery. Like they're all drunk, watching like 5 movies at the same time, ordering porn, ordering escorts. Grandma
just because they can.
Yeah, Grandma's drinking champagne. And it's so good. She says, "Oh, the champagne's gone flat." And Seinfeld's mom is like, "Grandma, whatever her name is, Grandma's, but it's like you can't drink that now." And she's like, throws the glass over her head and it crashes. What are you doing? She's like, "Let the maid deal with it." And everyone starts laughing. I almost wish that they went that far before they realized, like, oh fuck, we're just like humans. And at that point, humans started turning on them because, no, we don't want to join you in your parties. We don't want to do this and this and that. And that's when they started turning. Expand a little bit on it. I mean,
yes,
as it is,
they're kind of
still, it works.
They're kind of showing us, because they're kind of showing us, the audience, that like, do you realize how bad the shit you're doing is? If you compare what these apes were in the first movie and how they're being as soon as they get to human technology and the way we've developed our society in the 70s. Yeah. Like, it takes them a few days, if even that, to become, just like humans, as addicted and lazy and like, we are so easily persuaded.
Yeah. So the message comes across.
Like,
I just wish we could have seen a little bit more of it, because that would be fun. Yes. It's indulgent. So I guess this is
I would have wanted
very
more
concise,
of
which
the,
is good, I guess.
Sure. I would have wanted more of the you call me an animal? Because do you like, when they first walk into the party, did you realize that both of the women who start talking to Zira are like from animal things?
Yeah.
One of them is like a pet magazine and the other one's from like a
Burn Feather. It's one of the magazines.
Yeah. And the other one's like from a shelter or something.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I didn't realize
how do you feel about... It's another like animal organization of some sort. Wait, why?
Hey.
Just because they're animals? I mean, celebrities get interviewed by like gossip magazines and fashion magazines and stuff. Sure, but just because they're apes.
But this is the only time a pet magazine journalist has a chance to go to a swanky, celebrity party. So,
but I'm not sure what the like connection is there. Like, what is Sarah going to talk about? They don't have pets like that.
But it's kind of to show that we don't respect them, because in our eyes they're still apes. They even call them monkeys from time to time.
They're animals. Yeah. That becomes a slur. The monkeys.
Yeah, don't call us monkeys.
Which is the catalyst for It's
the M word.
Mm-hmm. And it's the catalyst for the accident, which causes them to having to run away.
Yeah, exactly.
That was not correct sentencing. Which causes them to have...
Causes the accident, yeah.
Yes, that makes them...
to run away.
Forces them to run away. That's the word I was looking for. English!
But here's also where we get a lot of the foreshadowing for the other movies, and really the prequels. Yes. Because Cornelius tells of the backstory of ape society, of the stories that the lawgiver told us, that in the future, we don't know exactly when, there was a plague, cats and dogs died out, and of course humans need pets, so they took apes as pets. But after they say like a couple of centuries, it's 200 years, they realize that apes can actually do like menial tasks, shopping, cooking, waiting tables and stuff.
Cleaning. So they became slaves or servants.
For 300 years they were slaves until one of them said no.
No.
And they 300 years they realized, they found out about the concept of slavery, and that's when one of them said no.
Yeah.
And that's what led to like the war that eventually destroyed the world. Apes survived, humans didn't. And we get to the first Planet of the Apes movie. and why the Forbidden Zone is the way it is.
Yeah.
Now the people hear this and like, yeah, they're like, okay, well, but that's a long time from now, like 2,000 years basically. So they're like, okay, all right, and it's just it's a story, whatever. But then the Doctor Hasline. By the way, did you recognize the name Hasline?
No, was I supposed to?
Yeah, Doctor Hasline is, or at least in the first movie, they talk about Dr. Hasline's theory of time travel. He's the guy who kind of engineered the time travel, and kind of, I guess, was spearheading the mission, Taylor's mission.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And he's also the one who talks about the infinite regression theory, which I don't really know why they bring it up. It has something to do with traveling backwards in time, which I don't know. Anyway, he realizes then, like, okay, so humanity will be wiped out at some point, and it all starts with intelligent apes. Hey, we have 2 intelligent apes here. I guess we gotta knock them out so that will never happen.
Or at least it won't happen now, I guess.
So, where a lot of people see like something just silly, funny, some people see something beautiful, like the Stevie and what's the guy, animal psychiatrist called? Lewis, yeah. They see something.
Wait, none of them is called Stevie though. It's Stephanie, but they call her Stevie, I guess.
Yeah. They call her Stevie all the time. I was thinking
it's Dr. Lewis Dixon and Dr. Stephanie Branton. Right. Lewis and Stewie. Stewie? Stevie.
But Hasline sees a threat to the world, basically.
Yes. Especially when he finds out that Zera is pregnant.
Yes. Because then, an intelligent ape.
Like, is that the predecessor to? Yeah. Is that the one that will say no eventually?
Yeah. And then it is something I've never picked up before. First of all, there's a lot of similarities between his ideas and this like not that there's like a specific name for it, but like a new world order thing. Have you heard of the Georgia Guidestones?
Yes, I recognize the name.
It's like a monument that was erected in the 70s. Hey, there's like 4 or 5 stones that were put up somewhere in Georgia, hence the name. It's supposed to like sort of resemble Stonehenge, because the guy who did it supposedly said because he wanted something like grand like Stonehenge, but in America. But on the Georgia Guidestones are like written like rules for a better society, and they talk a lot about like how to fix the environment, how to fix that, stuff like population control and stuff like that. And it's kind of funny because Hasline brings that up when he talks to the president. Like, they will eventually like destroy humanity. This is the beginning. He's like, yeah, well, like not during my constituency, so I don't care, or my mandate. So like let the people in 2,000 years deal with that if it happens. Which you can't do anything about it now. You don't even know if it's actually going to happen the way the monkey said it would. Sorry, ape. Hello?
Oh. Yeah, sorry, I'm reading about it. It's 1980s.
Oh, 80s. Okay, sorry.
So that was before the movie?
No.
The movie came before that?
Yeah. I mean, but the ideas of that, there's the Rome Society or something, which was started in the 60s, which had the same ideas. I mean, the whole thing with population control has always been in a thing, But anyway. It's kind of funny they bring that up. So
I mean, the message is kind of good. I'm just reading through the message, the 10 rules.
If you go deeper into it, though, there's lots of problems because their way of like how they're going to progress the human species is basically eugenics, which is
sure. I mean, it's communism in the way that it looks good on paper.
No.
It's look at it,
killing people who are undesirable and just like if.
But that's not written on the stone. That's like if you look deeper into it.
Yeah,
the 10 rules are just 10 rules.
But isn't one of
really good rules?
Isn't one of them about how we will create genetically superior humans?
No, maintain humanity under 500. I don't know how many zeros make 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Doesn't say how, but, maintain humanity under that number. Guide reproduction wisely, improve fitness and diversity. That's what you mean. Okay,
how do you guide
unite
reproduction?
Humanity with a living diversity.
Yeah, but
make sure you mate with something that's not from your own race, I suppose.
Yeah, sure, but what happens if you have a child with Down syndrome?
Yeah, that's true. Unite humanity with a living new language, rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason, protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Yeah, but what's fair and just? Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court.
Yeah, that's a one world government, which is also kind of scary, but
Avoid petty laws and useless officials.
Yeah, I mean...
Balance personal rights with social duties. Price truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. And be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature twice?
Yeah. Like on surface level, yes, all of that is pretty damn good. It's when you look into it, it becomes a problem.
It's how you execute.
Yeah, there's actually a really good video about it from a channel called The Y-Files on YouTube. They go into Georgia Guidestones, but then also go into other, secret societies that have the same kind of ideals, and how they have, have different ideas about how to, maintain, genetic superiority and stuff. But
just an FYI, it's been partially destroyed. These stones.
Yes, it was exploded like a couple of years ago.
A year ago. Yeah. July 6th.
Oh yeah,
2022.
Yeah.
And it's been closed permanently since.
Yes. So look into that. Actually, I usually say this and then usually don't, but I'm actually going to put a link to that video. It's a very interesting video and a very good channel, which you should check out on YouTube.
I love all these kinds of
conspiracy theories.
Yes,
and that channel is
theories.
all about
love that shit. Ooh,
and
I know. Yeah,
and it's
diving into.
The best part about it is that no matter how insane the idea he's talking about on the channel is, he goes into it with an open mind and actually this is what happened. Talking about the Philadelphia
thoroughly talk about it, not
the
just pointing out the ridiculousness. Yeah.
And then after that, he debunks it. But unfortunately, this is reality. It's damn it! Every time, it's so good. Anyway, sorry.
That is mentioned apparently in the movie.
Yes, he mentions population control. We have, he mentions, yes, because the president says we'll deal with that when the time comes. We'll deal with it later.
Yes. Hopefully it's not during our presidency time,
exactly.
whatever
he
calls
says,
it.
yes,
Yeah,
we'll deal with it later. Just like global warming, just like population control, we'll deal with it later. Well, now we have a chance to deal with one of the problems now. So he wants to deal with this very, very prescient, threat against humanity. It's these three apes technically, that are the beginning of the end of humanity. So we deal with it now.
Which it doesn't really add up to me, because as far as we know, that monkey, that ape that will eventually say no is, first of all, he's supposed to be almost 2,000 years into the future.
Yeah.
Them existing now, just the two of them and just the one offspring, how will that propel that scenario into now?
Because
because
if their baby mates with a primitive ape, they can create intelligent apes. So we will have intelligent apes.
That would mean that they would have to skip over the whole plague thing that killed off all the cats and dogs.
Then it might just go directly to apes evolve, humans devolve.
Oh yeah, that's
That's what he sees.
Them evolving too fast and just going, "Hey, we're stronger than you."
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. I mean, he's only seeing the ape side of the problem. He's not seeing the fact that humans devolved. It wasn't because apes evolved. Once again, he's acting out of fear. Like we talked about in the prequel episode. It's acting out of fear. That's what racism is.
So Colonel Mustard, Colonel whatever, is a little bit of Doctor. Yeah, is a little bit of Doctor Hasline as well.
Yeah. So Hasline acts out of fear
of the unknown. It goes to a bit of an extreme.
Well, once again, he's doing it to save humanity, which is also always a good thing in these movies, at least up to this point. the characters are not just like good and evil. They are more complex than that.
Yeah,
so
there's both sides to it all.
I fucking hate monkeys, so I'm gonna kill them. No, he's doing it because he's scared that it might
destroy the human race.
And Zira and Cornelius are supposed to be these like super progressive scientists from this better society, really. But she still talks like, oh, it stinks of gorilla and it stinks of man. She's very, very opinionated. She's very dismissive of other races of apes and of humans, really.
Yeah. And honestly, Cornelius acts on his emotions too much, which is why he accidentally kills a human.
Even though he tries to be the reasonable one of them all the time, yeah.
Yeah. He still goes, I was about to say ape shit.
That's somehow racist.
I realized that. That's why I kind of stopped myself. You know what I mean, though.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm joking, of course.
Yes.
But that's what I like.
Can we be racist for apes?
No, because we're different race. No, we're different species. So yeah, we can't.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess we can be speciesist.
Yeah. Also, I mean, we don't have intelligent apes that can be offended by it, I guess.
We can go up to, well, as they mentioned in this as well, apes can, however, get depressed. The gorilla in the beginning is depressed.
Sure.
That's a real thing. Hey, another Seinfeld reference.
All animals can get depressed.
I know.
Like, they're obviously, you've seen like dogs and cats be depressed, especially when they lose like a family member.
Yes. Oh, dogs are depressed
all
every
over the
day.
internet.
Their owner leaves them.
Oh yeah, as soon as they leave, like, oh, my life is over, and then we get home, best time of the world.
I saw that so clearly. I mean, I knew of that, and I mean, I've seen it before, but I've never. It was so clearly displayed yesterday. When Cassandra, I don't know. Okay, I'm just using the first name. Doesn't matter.
A coworker.
Coworker, that's the word. A coworker. She for some reason had to bring her dog to work yesterday. So I was having lunch, and she came in. Was supposed to have lunch as well. She puts down her dog on a chair and has to go to actually.
It's a small dog, I
small
assume.
Dog, yeah, I think it's a Chihuahua. I think it was some sort of Chihuahua.
Okay,
mix, maybe. And then has to go get her lunch, which is gone for like 5-10 minutes. And the dog is kind of like, oh, whatever, because, I'm here all alone. Other people are petting it.
Yeah.
So it's calm like that. But as soon as the dog hears her owner's voice again, or the owner's voice again, yeah, it just went bananas. It was like,
it perks up crazy.
You're alive.
Yeah,
I'm not alone in this world. And it's like, all right, that's because for those 5 minutes, that dog was like, oh, my owner's dead. She's gone.
Yeah, it's abandoned me. I'm never going to see her again.
I'm all alone in this world. And, oh my God, you're alive. You're back. And I was like, right, that's true. They don't have like the memory thing. They can't like, oh, they're gone. They don't exist anymore. Syns inte finns inte, as they said.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, that doesn't translate well though. Can't see it, doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway,
dogs are man's best friend, but men are definitely dogs' best friend.
Anyway, back to the movie. So the committee, the presidential committee, decides that we're not going to kill the apes, but we are going to kill the baby in utero.
Abort it,
basically.
yes.
Yeah, and then we are going to render the
castrate
apes, infertile. Yeah, castrate them
in a humane way. I think they mentioned in a good way somehow.
There is no humane way to castrate or neuter anyone.
No. Especially not even
if you do it chemically, so there's no pain or anything, you still remove one of the core tenets of humanity, which is reproducing,
of any living creature, not just humanity. It's it's a biological right, more or less. I mean, sure, there are people who are born without the ability, obviously, but it's technically it's like a biological right
for 99.9999% of humans and animals.
Yes.
So to forcibly remove that,
you would defy nature to remove that.
It's against God.
It's against nature, I'd say. To forcefully do that, at least.
I like, though, they sneak that in. Hasline says that is something about God, if there is one, he says.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so they decide that, and that's when Zira and Cornelius decide, like, we have to get the fuck out of here. That's when they kill the orderly who's getting them food, and run away with the help of Stevie and the other doctor guy.
Lewis,
right. Stevie sticks out because it's Stevie next to me, but yeah.
Yeah. And they end up at the, they end up first at the...
Armando Circus.
No, the circus.
Yeah. Where we meet Ricardo Montalban.
Yes.
Who we'll see more of in the next movie.
They must have planned like a sequel when they made this one. They're like, we're going to make another one.
So.
Because they're very closely connected.
Because exactly
this one ends...
Yeah. Exactly what Cornelius talks about in this movie happens in the fourth movie, so...
Yeah.
At this point, I think they had planned it, yeah. Which is like, whoa, they were franchising? Oh my god.
Yeah, oh my god, no. in the 70s?
Yeah. But then, so they escape. The cops and Hasline go looking for them. They catch up with them after she has given birth to baby Milo at the circus.
Yes, and she did a little switcheroo.
Yeah, which
I'm not entirely sure. Like, I mean, she wants her baby to survive no matter what, and I'm guessing, I mean, she's planning on coming back to him. Couldn't she did she have to bring a baby at all then? Like, she just left?
They are looking for a baby, though, I think.
Yeah, but, like, where are they? How are they gonna? I mean, yeah, they do end up going to that circus.
And that once again, that's also kind of making it complex. Like, she switches out her baby with the circus's chimpanzee Eloise, who has a baby as well.
Yeah.
And she does it, mainly to, like, in case they get caught, at least my child will survive instead of this primitive. Not instead of this primitive ape, but I'd rather sacrifice this ape than my own ape.
At least my baby will survive. Yeah.
Which is also like that. That's horrible against Eloise, the other ape, the other chimp.
Just because she's not as intelligent as you, it's fine to kill her child?
But once again, it's a necessary evil. Like,
sure, risk her child, I suppose is the better word.
So, once again, interesting choice to make for our protagonist in the movie. But then, after a brief chase in the shipyard, they get caught, brutally killed, shot up. And we see Hasline just unload his gun into the baby. Just, what the fuck? It's so brutal. And then they both die. They both get shot.
They succumb to their injuries.
Zira crawls up to Cornelius' dead body and dies.
Why did she throw the baby into the water, though?
So they couldn't check that this was not an intelligent ape. I think.
Oh. But I mean, they could just fish the body.
Yeah, but it
the DNA.
They don't. I don't think they care. But if the body was there, they could have checked it.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm thinking like something like that.
There's someone going like, what is she doing? I think it's Stevie. They're like, what is she doing? And then it's just very, like, leave it
as a last thing to do. Very savage all of a sudden when you're supposed to not be a primitive ape, which is I don't know if that's supposed to be something, but
it's weird that they make that little comment, like them reacting to it though, when they're not going to develop on it.
I think they're just reacting to the fact that they're all dead. I think.
Yeah, I suppose, but it sounds like they're like, why is she throwing the body in the water?
But then it's
a little weird detail.
She dies next to Cornelius. Cut back to the circus where we see the little baby and we realize, it's baby Milo because he has the necklace of Saint Augustine. I don't remember.
Saint something.
Saint something was supposed to be the patron saint of animals and stuff.
Yes.
And then he says, "Mama."
I mean, and they loop it, which is so weird. You can literally see the looping of the ape.
Mama.
I do love that they use like real chimps to be the babies. Yes. That is so cute.
So cute. And then they grow up to be vicious monsters. Yes. Do not keep
your face off.
Chimps as pets.
They're not pets. They're wild animals.
Wild animals that are built of like steel. They will rip you apart.
The only pets that are good pets are the ones who are bred to be pets. That's it. Not wild animals. Please leave the wild animals in the wild.
Chimps, being used as pets who eventually, after like 10 years, 15 years, from nowhere just turn...
They snap.
They turn on their owners and rip their faces off. It's disgusting.
All kinds of wild animals that do that. Like even lions and tigers and shit that people raise, bottle feed them.
You can almost like treat them as humans. All of a sudden they just go animal on you. Yeah.
I mean, a little bit like Caesar does in The Rise of the Apes. Because he realizes that I am a pet. Fuck you, dude.
Yeah, or I am not a pet.
Or he just goes protective.
Yeah. And that's...
can't control his emotions.
And that's also going to come up in Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, the next movie.
Yes.
Which we will talk about in the next episode.
In another episode, yeah.
And maybe not the next episode, but in another episode.
Well, yeah. Because first of all, I have to rewatch the rest of the movies.
Yeah, me too.
Again, I don't remember them. I do kind of want to watch the 2000... what's his name?
2001 Planet of the Apes remake? Yeah.
Yeah, but by what's his face?
Tim Burton.
Yes, the Tim Burton one. Just because I remember it looking cool as fuck.
Let's do this then, because we haven't done that in months and months. This is a big maybe, especially since we're coming up on December. If there is time, we'll do a commentary track on that movie.
Ooh.
If there is time.
Yeah, that would be fun. If we can find the time, yes. That would actually be fun. You know what? I'm like writing this down so I can check your calendar with you.
But anyway, we're going to talk about... Before the year's over, we'll talk about Conquest and Battle for the Planet of the Apes.
Yes. Because those were the last ones. Yes.
And then in the next year...
And this has been another very long episode.
Yeah. Well, not as long. Oh, no, it is. Okay, 2 hours.
We're over 2 hours.
Sure. But thank you so much for listening. I hope this was enjoyable. I guess... I don't know. My work schedule is forked for the rest of the month. So I don't know. I don't think I can go see Napoleon now on Wednesday. So maybe we'll have to wait with that.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we'll do another. We'll of course do another episode next week. Whatever it is, we'll talk about it. But until then,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for supporting us. Make sure to tell all your friends. Just give a buck. Imagine if we don't have that many listeners, but imagine if all our 100 listeners gave us $3. That would be $300 a month. That would be insane. That's like half my rent. I live very cheap.
That would help us out a lot. That would pay for so many movie tickets.
Pay for all of our movie tickets. Yeah.
Yes.
Which is ultimately was the goal of the Patreon, to pay for movie tickets. So
yeah.
But anyway, sorry. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back, but until then, have a good one. Bye.
Bye.